Hi, and welcome back to the Listening Bee. Today we're going to explore the question of can we control our happiness? Or is it always controlled by things that happen around us? So, to start off, I have a quote by Marcus Aurelius that says, "Disturbance comes only from within, from our perception of the situation." So to have a few examples to show this is here is Bill. He was trading in the stock market. He started with $20 million. By the end of the day, he lost a lot and now only has $2 million. He's very upset. Then we also have Susan. Susan started with $20,000 in the stock market. Now she has $80,000. She is super excited and super happy. And the difference between Bill and Susan is that Bill's perception of the situation is that he lost a lot. Susan is that he gained a lot. She gained a lot. But when in reality, Bill has a lot more money than Susan. And if Susan had $2 million, she would be super happy. So this kind of shows like the surface level of how our perceptions of our reality create our happiness and how we're influenced emotionally. To go a little bit deeper into something that we might be able to relate better to, we have Jeff and Amy. They both lost a pet. We'll say a dog for now. And about 1 month later, Jeff is still really, really upset. He wakes up crying. He doesn't want to get out of bed. Nothing. So he's super, super sad that he lost his dog. And Amy, on the other hand, she is at peace. She's grieved. She's dealt with it, but it's a month later and she's feeling pretty good. She's feeling relaxed and happy. And when she thinks about it, she realizes that losing her dog is allowing her dog to have less freedom or more freedom and less suffering in the world that they once lived. So she technically freed her dog from suffering. So she sees it as everything's okay. And her perception is very different from Jeff's, where Jeff still sees it as a loss of himself. Now, to move on to something different when it comes to humans and how they influence us and our happiness, we have Joe and Bob. So Joe is super, super upset. He is yelling at Bob. He wants Bob to get upset and to react back to him too. But Bob realizes that his emotions and what he says, how he reacts, is completely up to him. Joe can't make Bob do anything. He can't make Bob think anything. Mind control isn't a thing. So Bob is pretty happy. He was happy before Joe started yelling at him. And by realizing that he's in control of his own thoughts and how he feels, he stays in that area because he sees the perception of whatever's happening as it is. Joe's yelling at him, and he goes, "Okay, right now Joe's yelling at me. I'm feeling good inside, but Joe's trying to make me feel not so good, but I'm not going to let that happen because I'm in a happy place and that's okay." Um so the real important key takeaway from this is to realize that things have no hold on your emotions. It's your perceptions that do. Now, when it comes to whenever we feel fear or anger or anxiety or happiness in our own lives, it's important to realize this. We're all born as babies, right? Then we grow up, teenagers, adults, mothers and fathers, and eventually we die. Everyone that we know right now will one day be dead. Everyone that was very influential in the past is dead. Like, if we think about kings and queens and emperors, they're all dead right now, but at some point in their life, they felt angry. They felt excited. If they lost an empire, then they were probably very, very upset. But now they're dead, so it doesn't matter because they can't feel it anymore. So this shows how temporary our feelings truly are. And that, we may feel mad in one moment, but then we get some good news and then we're happy in the next. And that's also an example of how events and things like that can influence us. They can influence us in positive ways. And whenever they do, that's good to take hold of and be happy. But realizing that you don't have to let events influence you in negative ways is where the true power comes, when you realize that you can stay in a happy state of mind because you control it yourself. Don't let other things and other people control you. So this key point is that everything will change and cease to exist eventually. So remember that anything happening right now is not going to happen tomorrow or in 100 years. So just live in the present moment as happy as you can while it lasts. Also, I had a podcast, I'll link it right up here, with a guest, and her name's Judy. She was feeling anxious and she was like, "Oh, I feel like this is going to go on for years, forever." And so she was like, why don't I time it? It lasted 9 minutes. So this just reinforces the belief that, everything will change and eventually cease to exist. And that is okay. That is natural. It's nature. It's like this plant right here. Like, that's how it's gonna be. This plant one day is gonna disintegrate into dirt, and so are we. So everything is fleeting, and just enjoy the moments that you can while you're here. Now, to end, I have a quote for you to consider, also by Marcus Aurelius, and it's choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. So this applies when to your inner emotions and by not letting other people affect what's going on inside of you. Physical abuse, that's a whole other lesson and video. But when it comes to how you feel and the emotions and your perception of your reality, you can choose to not feel harmed and then you won't be. Also, if you want to learn more about this, you should read the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This was my biggest inspiration to create this video, and I really hope that you get and you got so much value from this. And if you did, please subscribe and like. I worked really, really hard to draw this. I'm not an artist, clearly, but it was fun. And comment down below an inspirational book or a book that changed your life because I might read it and make a video about it. Thanks again for watching!